Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Career Mantras, your go to podcast for all things corporate and personal development. I'm your host, RK, and today we are diving into a topic that's as essential to our IT career as caffeine is to a programmer. What to do in the first 2 years of IT industry. If you're a fresh graduate or a newcomer to tech scene, consider this episode as your starter kit for the first 2 years. So, grab your chai, hit that subscribe button, and let's navigate that labyrinth of the IT world together. All right, folks, let's get down to brass tacks. You might be wondering why the emphasis on the first 2 years. Well, let me tell you, these initial years are like the boot up sequence of your career's operating system. Get it right, and you are in for a smooth sailing. Get it wrong, well, you might find yourself stuck in an endless loop of control alt tells. There are four reasons why the first 2 years are extremely foundational for a wonderful career. First, we are living in a fast changing world. The technology evolves, the business evolves quicker than can you learn. And if you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. So you need a strong foundation of how you will manage this change. Second, the competition. The IT sector is as crowded as your metro local train during peak hours. Everyone has got a degree, everyone can code, but what differentiates you from each other? Keep thinking about it. Third, the winners take it all phenomenon. In this industry, the spotlight often shines the brightest on the top performers. This is from my experience of 22 years in the IT industry. It is not enough to be good. You have to be exceptional when you have a career for more than 2 or 3 decades, and you need a very strong foundation for that. Last but definitely not the least, and I may say old when I say this, the Maya of pleasure. The allure of initial paychecks, the team outings, the office perks can be intoxicating. While all that is good, don't let these pleasures distract you from your long term goals. Just remember, the Taj Mahal wasn't built on tea breaks. So, there you have it, the four compelling reasons of why you need to have a very strong foundations built in the first 2 years. The next sections will build on top of these things. Let's shift gears and talk about the two guiding principles that can act as your North Star at any point in your career. First is the confidence in your craft. That's your home, the base camp, the fort, which will help you to defend against the uncertainties and ambiguities in your career. You will find a lot of troubles, lot of uncertainties, lot of surprises as you go through your career. And it's your confidence which will help you to go through all of these things. The second principle is the visibility and fitment into the future. You may be great now, but it is very important to think about what will be the future in the next 5 years of the IT industry and what will be your place in it. If you think about these things consistently, you will find that you will have a motivation to change, pick up new skills, and be relevant throughout your career. Know your place in the future is extremely important. The six success mantras. We have six success mantras which you need to focus on the first 2 years. In fact, more than that, to have a strong foundations. Let's see them one by one. The first one is to strengthen your core engineering skills. When you enter the IT industry, be sure that you might be put in various projects. Some might be support, some might be product development, some might be maintenance, enhancements, it could be anything. But it's extremely important that you build your core engineering skills, which is very, very vital. So, what do you mean by core engineering skills? So, if you are a developer, now again, I've taken developer as an example, but for each of your roles, there would be something which is very core. So, ensure that if you're a developer, that you get sufficient experience in a full stack, which is your UI technology, a backend, and a database, and now cloud. Second is certifications. Take up at least one certification in cloud, which is very important and gives you the breadth to understand in cloud. Third is the coding and design. In the first 2 years, there would be mentors who will teach you coding and design practices, and hence it might be okay to be in the learning phase. But as you build your career and go up the ladder, you will be judged on how well you write the code and how you're able to design the systems effectively. So ensure you build a very strong foundations in that. There are a lot of materials available for this in the internet. Next is to copy the expert's code. What I mean by that is that you can take up an open source code with written by experts. Ensure that you copy, which means that ensure that you understand it, and then you make some incremental changes and try to make some innovation out of it. This will give you a ton of confidence for you to be able to understand complex code, to be able to understand the good design practices, to be able to confidently handle bigger size and scalable code on this one. Last, but definitely not the least, ensure that you get feedback from your experts or your guides or your mentors. Course corrections are extremely important, which serves as a strong foundations. So there you go. Strengthen your core engineering skills as a first success mantra. The next one is probably my favorite one. Know the breadth. If you are a cricket batsman, it is not sufficient if you just know how to bat. You need to understand how the pitch works, how the Duckworth Lewis works, how the fielding works, and how even the bowlers use the different techniques. So, in a similar way, it's very essential to understand the end to end in a software lifecycle. And on this end, you have the proposal, meaning how do you win a particular project or make a business case for your product. Next to how do you collect requirements? How do you plan the release? How do you do the iterations? How do you do the grooming? How do you deploy to the QA environment? How do you do the UAT testing? How do you do the production? How do you do the performance testing? And all of this. It's very essential to know this end to end to understand how each of these pieces are connected. Next, try to understand in each of these things who is involved in what dimension. Next, try to understand what is working well, what is not working well. So, for example, if you write a code which is not modular, how is it affecting in your deployment? How is it affecting in your performance? If you are not collecting your requirements well, how is it affecting your end user testing? So, if you understand the breadth of this whole thing, as you build your career, you will know where to focus next. When you become tech leads and tech architects and tech principals, you know which part of the piece is very weak and which will affect when, and then contribute your energies accordingly. The last one is more crucial. It is not good to be naive. You can't claim that you don't know about the SDLC cycle in software and expect a very good career growth. The next one is improve social capital. And I'm not definitely referring to the social parties that we all enjoy. So, what do I mean by social capital? It is a capital that you build socially, which will help you to identify opportunities, identify to get help, and build your career in long term. There is a method to madness to it. There are a few steps that you can do which will help you to build your social capital. The first principle is know many, but deepen with a few people, meaning that you will know a lot of people, but you will focus on a few crucial people who will help you to find the opportunities and move the needle for your career. Second, do it based on your strengths. You could be an introvert, you could be an extrovert, and you will might have your own strengths. For some people, they might have to go to a party. For some people, they might have to go to probably a workshop. Do it based on your strengths. There's no one size fit all here. Third could be organizing, where you can volunteer for events or tech events or client visits, where you come to know more people and build that connect and contribute something to the organization and the events. Fourth one is conferences. When I say social capital, it's not just the capital within your organization. In your career, you have to build your social capital across the organizations. So start participating in the conferences external and build your connects and try to know what's happening in the outside world. The last one is a silver bullet, open source. Open source gives you an amazing connect with people around the globe. If you have genuine good core engineering skills, you can contribute to open source and try to build connects with the larger development community on this one. You may not understand the value of social capital early on, but as you go to 5, 10, 15, and 20 years of the career life, you will find that it's the connects and the depth of the connects that will give you the opportunities. The next one is to strengthen your expression. This is something which we as Indians need to focus a lot and something the West does wonderfully well because of their culture. And what do I mean by expression? Expression is not related to being an introvert or an extrovert or how flamboyant you are. It's about expressing your thought in a clear, articulated way in forums, in projects, or in meetings or in huddles. Ensure that you present your thoughts in some coherent way in crucial forums. It could be a showcase, it could be an escalation, or it could be even a huddle. Ensure that people know what you are thinking in a very bold way. Especially if you are in the first 2 years of IT industry, you might have some hesitation expression. So it might be a good idea to start asking questions. That's a very safe way to express yourself. When you ask questions, it also means that you're building trust with the community to which you are asking. And if you follow the principle that you first ask the question and then you express your thought, that's a safer way for you also to build this particular success mantra. Know how the business works is the next success mantra. There is a myth that people who are new to the IT industry have to focus only on the engineering skills and they need not know the business. I think that's a very bad myth or a stereotype. I've often found that when people build their career, one of the crucial points where they fail is when they jump from being a developer to a lead or lead to an architect. That's where you have to understand how the tech changes the business. And for that, it's very crucial that you understand how the business works. And by business, I mean both your client's business and also your business. That's where you will understand the constraints, the opportunities, how the tech meets the business, and then make effective decisions. The last one is how does your client make money? And that's where you will bring in proposals and ideas, make choices so that you're cost efficient and value oriented. One of the important things that you have to remember is that when you move from college to a business environment like a company, the biggest difference is that you're not doing coding for marks. You're doing it for a specific business, which means that whatever you're doing have to be done better, quicker, and cheaper. So, for example, if you did a certain things in the first year of your career, then the same thing has to be done in a quicker way and in a better way because one, the business has evolved. Second, the technology has evolved and the company would expect you to do it better, quicker, and cheaper. And you're not alone. The world is also changing. The other thing you have to remember is that whatever you learned hard will be automated and you have to let it go. That's why your core engineering skills matters a lot. As you progress through your career, it's your core engineering skills along with the mastery of tools and techniques which will help you. Last but not the least, learning has to become an habit. Once you make learning as an habit, you can ensure that despite whatever technology changes, it is a very strong habit where you can let go the language that you've learned and pick up a new language and ace it comfortably. I'm aware that I left few things off which could be of interest for you. Mentorship, onshore opportunities, and appraisals. Specifically on mentorship, I would suggest that don't hurry up to choose a mentor. Your mentor should be a proper person who should be able to guide you, and he or she should not be limiting you. So take some time to identify the right mentor. Onshore opportunities, I wouldn't really worry about the first 2 years. Maybe after the third or fourth year, you should be planning for that. Appraisals, if you do all the other things right, you don't have to worry about the appraisals at all. I will leave you with this note. Remember that you're climbing a mountain and not walking an escalator. It's a journey that you will take in your career with both its ups and downs. Enjoy your career, and I hope you find this podcast useful.